currently holding a late night. Of course, let's move on to that now.
Regarding the process to date of the elections, we have lodged a number of concerns with the IEC, and from a formal point of view, meaning in a form of letters that we've sent to the IEC, one requesting in terms of prior access to how certain companies were appointed. That was not responded to. It was a moot point. We lodged letters as it pertains to an objections in effect, I think it was as per section 55. 2 letters. The IEC had not responded to those letters. Instead, they pulled us into a room when we actually said that we would like to have a press, and more so they should be addressing the nation and all the other parties, because there's certain fundamental issues that we raised there of concern regarding their conduct, regarding their processes as well. There's a lot of discrepancies which we'll unpack what those are and what has led to this decision that we're taking that they didn't respond to and which we're not satisfied. And as it is, Muzi Njingila is our head of elections. He will then obviously touch on the details. And then, I'll talk around what are the issues around the system glitches that we've raised and what our concerns are. And then we'll close it off with what effectively is our decision. So I'll open it up to our head of elections, and then he'll unpack all the issues that we've highlighted.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you very much. But you would have observed a statement that was released on the early hours of daybreak on Thursday morning, registering our concerns on the manner in which IEC was handling the entire electoral process. So serious transgressions were happening. Now we're receiving a lot of complaints and information from our party agents where result slips that are compiled by presiding officers are not in line with what would have been presented and recorded by our party agents, and that also directly impacts on the numbers that you are seeing behind us. So in potential or primarily we are saying now we don't recognize these results, we object them. We are calling for immediate manual counting because this has infringed on the rights of South Africans, to decide a government of their choice. And they also did not communicate effectively the changes in the electoral constitution, electoral act, particularly section 24, wherein members of the society can only exercise their rights to vote in districts that which they would have been registered for at, and that was not effectively communicated, and that also denied them their democratic right to decide on a party and a government of their choice. And now that has led us to this situation where we have to take a stand and decide, in fact, shun this exercise and say, IEC, your integrity is gone. You are not impartial, you are not independent. In fact, you are aiding whatever it is that you were doing against the independence and the participation of parties in them deciding the government of their choice and what they want. So this is the position we're making. We are rejecting these outcomes. We are rejecting these results.
Pertaining to the systems, in our statement we made it very clear that we find it strange that an institution such as the IEC, having a service provider like Telkom, which manages world-class systems for world-class clients, banks, companies that need to have uptime at a 99%, finds itself with a system that shuts down for 2 hours. So that's what we wanted the IEC to also tell us. What transpired in those 2 hours? They have not responded to us. And again, even the question around who is this individual, that is this technician that was found, how did they come about the realization that this person may have been involved? What led to the investigation and the questioning of this individual? So there's a lot of issues in terms of how the IEC has managed this process that have raised serious flags and concerns for us, and also correlated with what we've picked up on the ground in terms of the voting stations, as it pertains to the slips. So there's just at this point no confidence in what is happening on that screen. and we are effectively requesting a recount, and we're rejecting what you're seeing on the back of us right now.
I mean, the level of secrecy around the individuals that were found loitering around the servers in the early hours of this morning, where even the minister who's responsible for police was also there. But that thing is not communicated, it's downplayed, and it's very serious. So we would have expected IEC to give a report around that. What we are saying as a party, we are not satisfied, we are not happy, and we are going to challenge whatever it is that is happening here to the very end.
And if you wanted to find out if President Zuma is aware of this, he has been briefed. Tudizile has spoken to him. He's fully aware, and he supports the decision. Anything you'd like to?
You feel as though the MK party would have done much better than this?
Most definitely.
It's not a true reflection.
Our campaign speaks for itself. What is happening in KZN? KZN, the numbers that we have vis-a-vis what is projected behind us is a serious disconnect. We are also calling for a recount that side as well. We can't bet 44%, and now I'll go at 45. Now it has dropped to 44. I mean, what do you make of that? We can't sit back and watch a democracy being destroyed by those that want to continuously sustain or preside over a system that continues to disrespect and undermine the independence and the democracy of everyone else in the country. We can't allow that.
But that's an accurate description of what's going on. The reason why it dropped, according to our knowledge, from 45 to what it is now is because voting is still continuing. How do you explain asking for a recount when counting is still continuing?
At 90 something percent. Will that make any